Blessed be the name of the Lord. This is Pastor Michael from God is Enough Ministry. Just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all our mothers. May the Lord grant you happiness and joy throughout this season. I would like to share the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1 to 13 with you this morning. And the topic is condemnation of sexual immorality. Condemnation of sexual immorality. The sin of sexual immorality and the church's indifference to it is the second major evil in the Corinthians congregation. Apostle Paul condemns the sin of incest and rebukes the church for its arrogance and its failure to excommunicate the violator. However, after all, it is strictly forbidden according to the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 8. And it carried with it a cause. This you can find in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 20. Paul, teaching of church excommunication, does not actually override the scriptural teaching that marriage is an indissoluble bond. This also we can find in the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. We are to live a Christian life in holy consecration to God. This is applicable to both ministers and the congregation. Adultery. The book of Exodus talks about the law forbidding adultery was codified at Mount Sinai as one of the 10 commandments that was written by the fingers of God himself on the stone tablet. The book of Proverbs talks about a man entering into an adulterous encounter as an ox taken to a slaughter, or as a deer stepping into a noose. Adultery is referred to as a highway to hell. Why? Because he who commits adultery has no sense. And really, the person has no sense. When you just view a body, you saw a lady, and all of a sudden, you intend to commit adultery with the lady. That means you're about to destroy yourself. And your wounds, your dishonor, and your shame will not be wiped away. This you can also read in the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 32 to 33. Let's clarify adultery and fornication. They are both generic and old-fashioned terms. It's adultery when a married person married person A is sleeping or having an extramarital affairs with a person B who is either married or unmarried. If person B is unmarried, then it becomes fornication for person B. For person B is not married to person A. I hope it's not confusing. The Bible calls this yeast. Yeast, in scriptural term, conveys the idea of what? Evil and sin. The book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 6, elaborates on this. It says, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The word leaven can be translated to be either doctrine or sin. If it goes uncorrected, it will affect the attitude of the entire Christian community. Therefore, every sinful active action that we contemplate should be tested with some questions, such as, is it beneficial to me? Will it overpower and enslave me? Will it have a detrimental effect on the church and my testimony for Christ? Remember, God's people are member of mystical body. God's people are member of his mystical body. Therefore, so Christians must not what? Must not unite that body or bodies with that of an harlot or a prostitute. Because it joins two persons together. It is not just mere joining of two persons together as well. It is more than a physical act. That is blood touching blood. Your union is with God. Do not form another union with the sexually immoral person, because that is against God's principle. I will stop right here for now. Until next time when we shall meet again, please do remember that God is enough for you, and please stay blessed.